Well, hi everybody. This is Sam with Python Basics, and we are going to be continuing on with our streams. So thanks for joining us today. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below me, straight down, and go ahead and give this a like. So, all right. So I was setting this up, and I realized that I meant to put where I was pulling all this from. So I actually have it over in the comments, or excuse me, yeah, over in the chat actually, and I'll put it down in the description once I put it up. But what I'm doing is I'm actually going through all of the first 100 videos that I have done, and the way that this channel is broken down is there are playlists. It's actually one of the subscribers' ideas was to group these, so to help it be a little bit easier. And I know the grouping isn't that great, and I've been trying to brainstorm and not over catalog or categorize them, but they are in sequential order, and they are just episodes, and they're grouped in episodes of 100. So over in the chat, I have the playlist that all of these are. So if there's something that you want to go back and see, you can go to that playlist, and I'm trying to do them in sequential order. So I'm hoping not to jump around too much, so that then you can go back and either rewatch this video or even go and look at the video, the original video, and they're pretty rough, the first 30 or 40. I try not to go back and watch them too much. So all right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So we need to learn about another built-in function that Python has, and it's eval, for evaluate. And what it does is Python, of course, has rules and things, and we'll even look at how it can know. But Python knows that this is a digit. It's numeric. All right? So I can change this. Let's comment this out. Actually, let's cheat a little bit. Not a big fan of copying. If you've been around a while, you know that. So, but I want you to see both these. So let's comment this out now. Actually, to remind you. And if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're hitting that like button to give me some feedback. All right, we're going to comment this out. So last time we looked at this, oh shoot, I meant to get rid of this int, because what this does is the input brings it in as a string, right? So when I give it 2, it takes 2 as a string and gives you 2 of those strings side by side. That's why that's 22. So let's put int back, int. Then I come back over here at the end. So now that is back the way it was. So comment that, bring this in. Now, all right, let's look at our eval. Let's bring this over, not that way, this one. All right, okay. Source, evaluate the given source, context of globals and locals. This is actually only about one of the ones that isn't really clear of what it does, but evaluate. Python can evaluate it, understand it, then express it. Okay, so if I wrap this in eval, if I can type today, so evaluate this. Actually, let's change this to answer. I always have to sound out answer. All right, so I'm actually going to please enter equation. So I'm actually going to take an equation, take it in. So I'm going to give it 2 plus 2. So the reason why this is such an interesting object is when we go, and if you have not seen the calculator series that we've done, this is a perfect example where you don't have to do any of the math. You don't have to plan. You don't have to go, okay, well, how am I going to handle this? I got a number, then I got a string. Well, guess what? Python has already done that for you. And that's what I remember. One of the first things that I read in one of the first books was battery. It was a term that Python used a long time ago, batteries included. So all that meant was it had everything. Well, if you were born in the decade that I was and raised in the 80s and 90s, the thing was you get a toy, but you always had to go get batteries, and then that became a huge selling point for a lot of the toys. Was the batteries started to get included, so parents would be like, okay, awesome, I don't have to go get one more thing. I can just buy the toy. So now this is one of the huge benefits of Python, is not only do you have external people building unbelievable libraries that partner with this, you have a wonderful team that is constantly changing things and updating the actual core language, the core rules, the functionality of Python. So all right, let's just keep moving. So that was evaluate. Now, one of the things that I love, that I thought was super cool in Python was, and I've learned a lot of just terminology and things with problem solving, but palindrome. I love that word. It took me forever to actually remember how to say it, but Bob, Mom, Dad, and I think race car are all palindromes. And same thing with 101. So anything forward and backwards that are exactly the same are a palindrome. So that is a great exercise for a programmer to test if something is a palindrome. So let's just go ahead and get started on how in the world would we do that test. So we're going to need to learn a couple of new tools. So let me check something. Sorry guys. Let's see, where did I want to look? All right. So palindrome. All right. So let's take in input. Input. Enter. Test. All right. We'll give it a space. Do that. All right, actually, let's look at that. Why'd that fail? So I started to put my parentheses, but my test was, or I noticed my parentheses was green. I should not have a parentheses green because I'm closing out my function. So what was the mistake I did? I put a single quotation and a double quotation. Python goes, I don't know what you're talking about. So now, okay. So let's go incremental. And let's just go here. Let's get this up here so you guys can see it. All right. Print pal. All right. And we're going to enter Bob. So pal is Bob. Now we need to look at ways to print this backwards. But if that's a palindrome, we won't know if it is actually backwards. So we're just going to do Sam. Now, we talked a little bit about slicing, one of the first few videos that we had. So we can do this a couple of ways. Let's first look at slicing before we get too crazy. So if I index this and I get index 1, that's the second character in because Python indexes at 0. So here we are. So this should be A. So then now, actually, let's make this really clear so we have a couple of options. We'll go all the way out and give everything. So now, if I do 4, I should get E. Now when I use colons, it is going to, I get start, stop, step. Same rules apply for slicing as they do for range. Let's see if I size this right. Can you see that? Okay, good. If you give it one number, it starts at 0, stops, and it's exclusive. So if you got, then you have start, stop, step. Same rule. If you can't remember in slicing, pull up range, and that's the order. Start, stop, step. Same rules apply. So, all right. So if I was going to then slice this, and I wanted to start at 1 and go to 5, I would get AMUE. Now when I leave it blank, start at 0, go, and if I leave the second one blank, I go all the way. Now, if I want step, how to increment, but I want all the letters, I go blank, blank, and I want to go every other letter, step by 2, go by 2. Think about your times table. Every 2, so 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So now this is starting at the beginning, going to the end, going every other letter. So S, S, M, E. And then there is no even right here because it started at 0, started at the first one. Now if I were to start at 2, the first index, the second letter, let's go here, and I start at the first index, then I get 2, 4, 6, every other letter. So we learned that indexing and slicing, we can go backwards. So maybe I can go by step in a negative direction by ones. All right, I remember the first time I saw this, it blew me away. -1. So start at the beginning, go to the end, and I want to increment step by 1 in reverse. Boom. So is this equal to this? No, because Samuel is not a palindrome. So now let's test if Bob is a palindrome. Let's reassign Bob. All right. So here's our equivalency test. 2 equal signs is our equivalency test, our equivalent test. So then we go X, beginning to the end by -1. So lo and behold, Bob is a palindrome. And I'm almost positive, I think I remember this, race, car. Yeah, there it is, the E's in the middle. So then we'll just do this. Boom. So mom, dad, Bob, race car, all palindromes. So you could come over here. So we have our test. Then, how do we want to do this? Pal. So print pal equals pal, boom, boom, -1. Close that out. All right, does that look right? Run this, save it, run it. Then race, let's just go mom. True. So there we go. That is the clean, clear, simple one way to do this. Now I want to show you how you can turn this into a list and use some of the built-in methods that lists have, and then also a outside function that is already sitting out there. All right, let me make sure where I am. But if you're just dropping in and you're new here, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're hitting that like button. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I don't want you missing any videos. And if you're just joining us, what I've been doing is been, I haven't even checked the comments. All right. Oh, no problem. I really enjoy. I started learning Python just past 7 years. So, and I started teaching and sharing at my kids' school, and really got into it. I tried learning programming back in the 90s, and I started with C++, and I just couldn't get it. I was intrigued by it. I loved it, but I couldn't grasp it. And then one day I was got a newspaper article, and it had stuff about big data. They hadn't coined the phrase data science yet, and it was talking about how Python was one of the premier languages for that. And after that, I was hooked. Started reading, started practicing, started learning, and have fallen in love ever since. So, all right. So now we need to learn how to do this another way. So one of the ways, because let's say, well, it's just important to be able to do it. So you can now actually wrap this in a list. Let's copy this so we can have it. So right now, pal. So I can put this in, I can actually do this. This is completely legal. Now I'm going to show you another way. We need to look at, we haven't really gone over all of these. So let's just kind of go through them. So what did I just do? I just ran dir on my variable. And I can run dir on, if I type dir, let's get my cursor out of the way, on string. It's the exact same because Python understands that my pal variable is a string. So it just goes down to memory, examines it, and then spits it out. So there we are. So let's just look and see. So I can also run pal.split. And, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let's see. So split, that'll take a sentence. Excuse me. Should not have said it that way. It will take a string and split it. And you can run help on all of these. So let's see. And you can use str dot, let's split. You do not pass. So, all right. What does it do? Returns a list of words in a string using sep as a delimiter. All right. Sep, short for separation. Delimiter, if you say delimiter, or what it does is it shows you where to split the string. If you want to split on the white spaces, if you want to split on commas, however you would like to do this. So when I pass in, when I take my, I took pal and I wrapped it, I put it, let's do new. Then I take list and I pass pal in. So now I have a list, and it chopped up everything, every character. So if I had spaces in between that string, I would have spaces in between. So let's see. Let's do x equals m-o-m-o, whoops, m. Then newer equals list x. So then I go newer. And I have, here, when newer. I have 5 items in this list because these spaces are still taking up memory. I still press the space bar. Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We got a couple people right now joining us. So this is fourth in the series. We'll just do a little recap here. This is fourth. So what we're doing is over in the chat, I put the actual link to the playlist. I meant to have it down in the description below, so guys. Didn't want to cancel the stream right before I got started. So I'm still getting used to this. So, but these few streams are just a redo or a kind of do-over of all of the original first 100 episodes, 100 videos that are on the channel. So if there's something that I've gone over that didn't quite get it and you don't want to have to come back and find it in this live stream, you can go back and find that related video with that title in that first playlist. So all right, so now that I have this, what did I call new? I called new my list, my short list of just MOM. Now, what is a list? One of the last times. So let's just look at it. Help on new. And this is stuff, but we need to look at it. So what is a list? Where'd I go? Okay. Built-in mutable sequence. It is a container. So a list. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. Well, look, just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory if you're new here. When I started my journey in Python at 36 years old. I had a full-time job. I'm married. I got 3 kids. They're in school. It was very hard. So if I could, and I struggle with learning disabilities. If I can learn how to do this, I promise you, anybody can. So figure out a way, and one thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot, find out how you learn. However you learn, do that way. Don't try to do it a way that somebody else tells you. Experiment and find the way that you learn. All right. So the way that I learned, where I'm more confident, is just doing something over and over and over again. I have to do something 100 times before it sinks in. Then I really started learning a bunch of years ago that when I start teaching or training something, I become better. Then I learned there are much smarter people than I who have really taken that and expanded upon it. If you want to be exceptional at something, if you want to master something, teach it. That was actually the quote from Richard Feynman. I just finally read that one day and I about passed out. I was like, oh my God, that is exactly true. Well, the guy was a genius. He worked at MIT and I think Caltech. So all right, let's just go ahead and keep going. So where are we? Nope, not there. Let's see. So we are, reverse and sorted, and so we're going to now look at our list methods. So dir list. Okay, so we've looked at append before, but now, okay. We got reverse, we got sort. So let's work with reverse. So there's actually 2 ways to change the direction of a list. So a list is something that's called mutable. You can change it. So Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad. Look, this channel, I designed this channel to, if I were to start over, what would I want? Because when I was learning, I'm completely self-taught. Everything I know here, I figured out or taught myself. I had some, because I learned by doing and I learned by visual. I tried reading books and it just wasn't doing. So that was actually the initiation where I got much better at Python right around the time I started teaching. So I started sharing this at my kids' school. So I was going and showing young people how to learn to program, and then I was having these aha moments. Then, of course, one of my kids had a YouTube channel for gaming, and he was saying, you need to have a YouTube channel. So, and I was like, I don't know, I'm still learning. So basically what I did is I went back and got all of my notes and all of my files and all of my scripts. And what I did was, there was a question posed a long time ago, probably about 10 years ago. If you want to become an expert, spend 10,000 hours on it. Whatever task you want to master, 10,000 hours. It's about 6 years. So if you're able to do it full time, 40 hours a week, 6 years. That's kind of the standard protocol, and I kind of begin to, I've become more. I was less reluctant to agree with that, but that's a good that's a very good question. So all right, where was I? So I started teaching, and I realized that I was becoming more comfortable at this, and then the idea came, well, there are these videos that are out there, and they're long, and everybody's getting this, but if I had to go back and find one thing, it would take me, I would spend more time looking for that one thing buried in a huge video. So where the idea for this channel came from was, I wanted you guys to not have the same problems I did. So I started doing just small little snippets so you could come and find them and then solve your problem and move on. So, all right, I'm getting distracted, so I'm sorry. All right, so we have our new, right? Then we have newer. So now, let's do name so you guys can see this. List, then SAMUEL. All right, and name. There we go. So now let's look at reverse. And it literally is, so it's a method. So help name dot reverse. Now, this is important. So a couple of streams ago, we talked about return. So Python, there's only one or two that is not clear on this, but if you see in place, that means does not return. It changes this variable. So if I use this method, it's going to override and change my variables. So I'm going to have a new variable. So, all right. So if I do name right now, I get a list of characters that are my letters to my name. Now, if I do name dot reverse, boom, it's in place. So now my original variable is gone because it changed it in place. It did not return a new one. It did it in place. So be very, very aware of that. That is a very important key right there. Now, that is one way to reverse something. Now, there is also help. So reverse is a method inside the list object. Now there's reversed. Aha. So what did I say about purple? Yeah, I love teaching print first is the first built-in function. If it's a built-in function, it's purple. So we got help, we got list, we got dir. So I typed reversed, just went purple, right? So I wrap this up. Oh, I got a whole thing. Return a reversed iterator. All right, I don't want to get into the iterator iterable discussion right now, but we will touch on that very, very soon. Iterable, iterator, not the same. Just want you to be aware of that. So now, but what does it do? What did we just talk about? It returns something, so it creates something. So if I come down here, name, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the channel is 3 years and 3 months, and I did a whole year about a year and a half ago, and I did a video a day. That was really hard. I think I skipped one day because of my internet service provider, but no, I really appreciate that. So reversed. All right, so I want you to look at this. So right now, that's just a reversed iterator. I didn't create anything, right? Because why? Creates. So still have name, hasn't changed. So new name, reversed name, new name. Oops. Print new name. Wow, okay. Whoa. Interesting. Okay. That must be an update in 3.8 that I was unaware of. Oh, yeah. Return a reversed iterator. Okay. All right, so I guess we're going to have to go into this. So now let's take our new name list, new name. Well, there we go. So tomorrow we will be getting into our iterator iterable discussion. All right, so I'll get some notes around for that. I'll make a note of that. But to give you an idea, when I started learning Python, it was on Python version 3.4. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. If you're new here, I really appreciate it. This is extremely humbling. I still am blown away that so many people come to this channel to learn Python from me. I absolutely love it. So awesome. I'm glad we have a few people in here. I remember my son, he said, now just be prepared that you may not have anybody who watches. And I was mentally prepared for that for last week, and I was very blown away by how many folks were here, and then how many people went back and rewatched the live streams. So that was shocking. So I put up a new video. We're gonna go back to also still doing. I took 2 weeks off from posting videos daily, and YouTube actually has this new tool that shows when people who are watching your videos are on, and that was how I figured out this time of day was the best, because there are more of you on right now than later in the day when I post the scheduled video. So still gonna do the scheduled video, gonna stay in a series, and then if you guys still like this, which I'm getting some great feedback, and if it's helping you, I'm gonna keep doing it, because again, the whole point of this is to save you pain and anguish and the things that I fought through. I want you to, if I can save somebody any pain, I want to do that. All right, that's the whole point of this. So we got reversed, and we now have, so we just learned that the reverse method does it in place. So you would need to be careful and to make a copy. So we also then need to look at sort. We'll look at sort and then we'll move on. And then you also have sort and then you're sorted. So let's look at let's see, we're doing, do we just have name? What's name right now? That's not what I wanted. Help, name, sort. Cool, there we go. All right. Sort the list, ascending order, return none. All right. So this doesn't create anything. This is, so here it is. When you see return none, it's the same thing as in place. So you'll see a little bit of variation. So the other one, we saw it, this omitted return. Sorry guys, I thought I muted that. Guess I haven't had any notification. I thought it was a little quiet. Thought I had muted it. Okay. So reverse in place also is return none. This has omitted return none, but now here this is explicit. Return none, sort in place. So let's see. So if I do, let's see what name, I can't remember what name is. Let's do this. When you run dir and don't pass anything, you actually get a list of all. I want you to look. How did I know it was a list? Because right there, as square brackets. So this is a list. So name, new name, newer, pal, and X. All right. So I just want to take, let's see what name dot sort. Close that out. Name. Okay. Now let's go over this. Why is S before A? All right. Because it sorts capitals first, then lowercase, and then goes through the alphabet. So if I were to do a list, y equals 3, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 3. Y dot sort y, and it will put these then. And how did it go? How did it go? What did it do? Where did it say? Ascending order. Well, what in the world if I wanted to go in reverse? Now, we have not talked about defaults or optional arguments, but we're going to do that now. So this is called an optional argument, and its default is false. So reverse. Do we want to be in reverse? No, false. So it's going to be in ascending order. So now let's say I wanted to reverse this. You turn this into true. Sorry, give me a second. My throat's a little dry today, so I apologize. All right. Put that down there. Okay. So now let's go back up here. All right. So I don't like this, but I'm using shells, so I can't use my up key that I'm used to. So what I did right there is I cheated. I put my little cursor on this line and I hit enter, and the shell bumps down here and copies the line that I was on. So now I've put my list and back into memory and assigned it to Y. Now I want this to be in reverse order. I want 6, 5, 3, 2 to come out. So how in the world can I do that? Well, we're going to use the tools that we have. So I'm going to go Y. I'm going to go sort. Aha. Ooh, can you see that? Sorry. Looks like it's set down. Good. Key, we'll talk about key later. Don't worry about that. And then reverse false. So the way that you do this, reverse. And if you've been around a while, you know I am not a speller. And you just pass in the true Boolean. Close this out. Why? Boom. It is literally that simple. It is there. Y. And it is now in reverse in place. All right, so we got about 20 minutes. Let's see where I am. Ooh, okay. Here's a good one. Enumerate. So let's say you're going through and you need to figure out, you need to count, and you need to keep up with the count of objects. So let's see. Well, first let's enumerate. Okay, and how did I know I spelled it right? Because it went purple. All right. Here we go. Return and enumerate object. So what do we know about return? Create something. So now let's pass in. We got a list of students. We got Bob, Steve, John, Andy. And I want to then, so I'm going to pass in an iterable, all right? And what did we just learn about reverse? Sort, the sort method. We just learned that when we see something and an equal sign and some bit of information, this is a default argument, an optional defaulted argument. So starts at 0. So if I wrap this up, so students, then I pass my enumerate, and I pass student, put this in memory, then I call, whoa, what in the world's going on? Students, right? Yeah, students. I get an object. But let's go through here. Let's then wrap this up so we can look at it. All right. So now we need to talk a little bit about this. These are called tuples, and these are very powerful because you can't change them. So we'll go more into that later. Here we go. Enumerates objects yield pairs containing a count from start, default 0, and then that whatever object. So let's scroll down here. So it started at 0. So then Bob is linked with 0. Then, so I don't have to go through and come up with a for loop and go boom, 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 because I think in the previous, in the enumerate video, I like showing you the hard way, but you can go back and look at that. I don't want to slow you guys down too much with the hard way in the live streams because your guys' time is valuable. But everything that I'm doing if you're new here joining the stream, thanks for joining us. Make sure you're hitting that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. But every video that I'm doing here right now today is in the playlist that's over in chat. I meant to have it down in descriptions. It'll be in there in tomorrow's stream. So, and also to kind of recap, what is probably going to happen is, unless it becomes too much, but right now it hasn't gotten too bad, but we'll live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then have our videos on Monday through Friday still with our regular series. But but every video or every topic that I'm doing right now in these live streams is in that playlist in the first 100 videos in sequential order. So if there's something that you want to see more of, or maybe more in depth, you can go back and look at that video. I didn't want to remake any of the videos to have you not sure exactly which one. So kind of trying to do a recap, or is that's the experiment. So now we need to tweak this a little bit. You and I know Python starts at 0. It indexes at 0. But other people, especially an end user with a program, they're not going to want to know 0, and you're not going to want to have to start over and go, okay, if I have 3, so I'm going to always have to remember to add 1 to know how many students I have in my class. So we come up here, and how does this work? Let's just go back and look at it. Start. My optional argument is start. So I want to start at 1. So I change start to 1. And I redo this. Then I go through and I wrap. Whoa, my computer's acting weird today. Sorry, guys. Students. There we go. So now I have a list, and I know it's a list because it has square brackets, and a tuple. Let's just go ahead and look at help. Well, actually, we're going to get real specific. We're going to students. We're going to do a couple things. And also, if you were not here last time, this is completely legal in Python. Python does not care that you're using the same variable name. All Python does is go into memory, identifies this variable, looks at the stuff associated with, and goes, oh, you're talking about this stuff. I don't care what this is yet. Python will do everything on the right side of the equal sign first, and then assign it to the variable. Information first, right side first, then left. Does not matter. These are the same. Doesn't even matter a little bit. All right, so now, oops, and let's see what I did. So now let's just go back up here and rerun this. All right. All right, list. So now what I want to do is I want to show you something. For I in, well, yeah, sorry. Students, print, oops. Let's do it over here. I in students, print I. All right. Now, each of these is a tuple, all right? And what is a tuple? Okay, this has got some pretty good information. I have not looked this up in a while. Now, built-in immutable. Tuples, strings are immutable, cannot be changed. So they have, you can't mess with them. So if you're creating a variable and you don't want them to accidentally be adjusted, you use a tuple. So now what in the world did I do right here? I just printed out, so inside students is a list, because we saw that up there, is a list of tuples. And I'm printing out the whole object. So I'm printing out the tuple each time. So if I print out print type I, and I rerun this, each one of these is a tuple. Now, let's comment that out. Now let's say, so we talked about packing and unpacking last time. So now we're going to unpack it. So I want to know what number student they are and their name. So I'm going to change this to number, and student. Number, because right now this is kind of ugly. That's print number and student. All right, so let's go over this just again. So here's my iterable, then I understand and I know that inside each object of my iterable is a tuple. Then inside my tuple, I have two objects, and I'm unpacking them. First one, second one. Now, here's the thing. This is where it gets weird. You don't have to use both of them, but you do have to unpack them. So here, well, let's run this, and then I'll show you. So now if I were to just go and say that I just want the number out of it, I get 1, 2, 3, 4. But I still have to unpack them. I don't have to use both of them, but if I just go to one variable, I'm just grabbing the variable. So I'm grabbing all of it. So I get the tuple. All right, let's say that again. All right, so each time through this object, there are 4 objects inside our students object, our iterable. So when I just pass 1, I get the whole object. Now if I pass 2 objects, Python intuitively understands that it knows that I know what I'm talking about, and it's going to unpack it. Oops, sorry about that, guys. It's going to unpack it. So now that I've unpacked it, I get the first object inside that object, and then the second. Oops. Now, again, I don't have to use both of them. Sorry. My goodness, guys. Boom. And I can even change the order. Number. Run it again. However I want to do it. But that is how you can use enumerate. So that was maybe a little bit more than I was planning on or expecting. So, okay. Yeah, I was got a couple more things here, but I really don't want to go over an hour because I don't want to slow you guys down. But you guys, I have not looked at the comments in a minute. Sorry about that. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Okay, please explain the arguments. Print and return, which is amazing, but I don't explained well until you're. Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that. But all right. This is why the function yes. So if a variable has an asterisk, that is a args. So you are telling Python, hey, we may get more than one. So we're going to take a list, and actually we may be getting to tomorrow or probably Thursday the args v from the OS or sys. Can't remember off the top of my head right now, and that's fine. I don't have to. I got notes. That's the awesome thing. Don't make notes. Please don't ever delete a file that you've written. Don't ever delete a function. Don't ever comment it out. Never delete anything. Okay? Not only one, can you go back and reference it later, but 2, it's good to see how you're developing, and also it's a good goal to then see, can you make it better? Can you make it cleaner? Can you make it more efficient? Can you make it more readable? Because I remember, I'm going to show you tomorrow. I thought we'd get to it today, but I rambled on a little bit, so I apologize. Prime numbers. I'm going to show you the first time, and you can see it in my videos. I showed you the first way that I figured out how to do a prime number. It was horrible, but I used the tools that I had, and then I learned more. Then I made better tools. Then I learned more. Then I made better tools. So that's that. So all right, we've been here for 55 minutes. We got a couple people here, so thank you for being here, guys. Make sure that you are hitting that like button for me, and if you are completely new to this channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. But the plan for tomorrow is we're going to look at the absolute value function the and or keyword, the string module, very big time saver if you're trying to use the characters so you don't have to type them all out. I remember I was doing stuff with the alphabet and I was typing them all out and I wanted to kill myself. And then I found something that saved my life. That made my life a lot easier. So prime numbers, and then leap year, second conversion, and times table. All of those are very, very good for problem solving and basic bones of Python. So they have formatting, they have modulo, thinking, planning, attacking. So I really love doing this. Really like these comments. Ton of likes. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for joining us. Gonna do the same time tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So please, if you know somebody who's learning Python, please share this channel with them. I hope that it saves them a lot of time and pain and anguish, because that was the whole purpose of this channel. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye, guys.